Hello, I'm Professor Pedrero, and in this video, I'd like to talk to you about some goals for this math class, and then share some tips and techniques that you can use to be successful. The first and overarching goal for this class is to master the fundamentals of elementary mathematics. Those include the principles like fractions and place value, and working with the algorithms that you will be teaching in elementary, and understanding the whys behind those concepts. You'll also learn about the pedagogy, the practice standards, the ways that we teach effectively to children. And the second main goal that I want to do is make sure that we learn how to learn. So we can't in college teach you everything that you're going to need to know to be successful in life. So you'll have to learn how to learn and to learn to do hard things. And two things that I want to focus on in this category are active learning and student accountability. Okay, so how do you succeed in this class? Well, first off, realize that I've put in a lot of time preparing for this course, and I'm focusing on those two areas of active engagement. And so a little bit more about that is you'll be reading the material, you'll be preparing for class by studying the sections and then doing some preparation quizzes before the night before class starts. And we'll be doing a lot of hands-on learning in class. And the second thing is I want you to take ownership for your own learning, remembering that you'll get out of this class what you put into it. So some specific tips are: one, to do the work and to do it on time. So the assignments, the quizzes, the projects, exams, etc., are all there to help you meet the course objectives, those learning objectives that we have set out. Hard work and meeting deadlines are important life skills, especially for teachers. And one thing that a student of mine has done recently, he was kind of a last minute student, so he put things off to the last minute, and he was doing fair in class. But about halfway through the semester, he decided, you know what, I'm going to work ahead. And so he started working a day ahead, and that allowed him to get help when he needed it. It allowed more soak-in time, and his understanding of the material increased significantly, and his grades improved. Next up is to practice good time management. There's no one right way to do this. You can schedule out each hour, hour by hour in the day. You can make a checklist and check things off as you accomplish them each day. You can even use your phone to set alarms to remind you to take quizzes or exams, or that you have a project coming up. And also remember that you should check Canvas regularly, at least daily. Make sure that you're aware of everything that's going on. Next is to use effective study techniques. These include previewing lessons, and so that's why I've incorporated reading the section and taking quizzes before class, so that you're starting to become familiar with the material before we talk about it together in class and do activities. Then regularly check your learning progress by doing what we call self-quizzing, or doing some sample problems. Make sure that you can test your knowledge and how well you're doing by actually doing problems. Another thing that most students benefit from is creating a study group where they focus on the material, because if one student doesn't quite understand it, good chance is that another student can and can explain it in a nice, easy, understandable way. Don't simply rely on rereading the books or the notes. That gives you the false sense of seeing the material before and a false sense of mastery. Yes, you have seen the material before, but you may not have mastered it just by merely reading it once or twice. And don't try to procrastinate and cram for projects and exams. It doesn't lead to long-term success. You'll need to take care of your body, and it will help take care of you. So the most important part of this is to get enough sleep. So 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. This improves learning. They've done research on that, and it also leads to physical and mental health benefits. And you may have to cut back on TV or video games or chatting on the phone, but it's worth it. Okay. Also, you need to eat healthy. Keep your brain and body in sync there, and that includes fruits and vegetables, not just PB&J or ramen. And finally, do some exercise each week. It can be 3 to 5 times, and it doesn't have to be super strenuous. You can just take a friend and go for a walk if that helps. Make and learn from mistakes. So when you're learning, you're trying to gather a skill or an ability that you haven't fully mastered. So whether this is a sport or a musical instrument or math, you're going to be doing some things and not know how to do them perfectly from the start. So you will make mistakes. And realize that math has been around a really long time, and you can't break math permanently. Okay. So don't worry, you can try things, you won't break it. And take feedback, whether it's from me or on homework or on exams, as opportunities to learn and try something new, try something different. Eliminate distractions. Especially with math, you need to focus. And so turning off the TV, your cell phone, especially notifications, those can be really distracting. Music, whatever, and then focus really on that concept, on those concepts. And then you'll have actually more time to go do those other things if you focus on the math and not try to divide your time. The research has shown that if you're trying to multitask and you're really actually just switch tasking, you're doing one task for a short period of time and then you're doing another one, whether it's watching TV and doing math or whatever it may be, or playing around on the internet and trying to do math. But for better learning and understanding, what you need is to focus on the math so that it encodes the learning in the right parts of the brain, and it's not trying to do it in different parts of the brain because you're switching tasks so frequently. Don't cheat. This is the #1 way to ruin your grade in the class. You're responsible for your own learning, and many assignments will be individual, and so you'll need to submit that, and that needs to reflect your own work. Some assignments will be group projects. I do realize that I consider cheating a serious offense, and I try to investigate it as much as possible. And if you do have any questions about whether an activity is cheating or not, please feel free to ask me before you do the activity. And realize that it is a hard time, but yes, we can do hard things.